What you're about to see is not simply archival footage. It's evidence of a fight for children's lives that has spanned decades. These images, captured in Boston in 2005, bear witness to the earliest effort to bring Easy ID to life through Massachusetts legislation. A struggle born not from politics, but from heartbreak and urgency to use common sense innovation to save lives and help protect our most vulnerable. Easy ID is a revolutionary automobile license plate identification system designed to make vehicle identification faster, clearer, and more reliable for law enforcement, witnesses, and the public, giving every person on the street a fighting chance to read, remember, and report a plate number in a moment of crisis. In a child abduction, every moment is critical. Nearly every child abduction and every human trafficking case involves a vehicle, a car that carries its victim away from safety and, far too often, toward a fate no family should ever have to know. When a child is taken and the first 24 hours pass without rescue, statistics tell a devastating truth. The odds of survival fall below 10%. Easy ID exists to change all that. It exists to give a stranger on a sidewalk, a driver at an intersection, a terrified witness the ability to read that plate, clearly, instantly, and correctly, and hand to law enforcement the single greatest lead to bringing a child back home. The license plate number. What follows is a testament to years of determination, of champions who refuse to let this idea die, and of a simple, powerful conviction that a better license plate can save lives and help keep our communities safe.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good morning, and welcome to the Senate Reading Room. I'm State Senator Bruce Tarr, the Minority Whip of the Massachusetts State Senate, and I'm very pleased to welcome you here as we launch a very innovative effort to strengthen public safety in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I am joined today by a number of families and students from the 8th grade class at the Brown Middle School in Newton, and I'm very pleased to have them with members of law enforcement and with distinguished legislative colleagues and activists for public safety all across the state. We are here today to unveil a concept of fundamental change for the license plate system in Massachusetts. A change that will simplify the license plate in our state, will make it more readable, more understandable, and in the long range, more effective at protecting the potential victims of violent crime. I think when you see this, you will be quite surprised at how simple it is, but I would urge you to keep an open mind and remember at just how effective this system will be. We have a number of speakers today, and we're going to move through them very quickly so that we have time for your questions. I am thrilled to have such bipartisan and bicameral support for this legislation, and as evidence of that, I'm very pleased to introduce our first speaker, who is my state representative from the city of Gloucester, State Representative Tony Verga.
Keep that applause for the bill. I don't need it. The bill is very important. This bill is going to serve something this state needs so badly, easy identification. We're looking at saving children's lives and the lives of adults as well. We're looking for something that's easy for a child to identify and an adult can identify just as equally so we can protect the people. We've had too many families in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts have to suffer as the Bish family and others have done in this state. We want to prevent that, and we think this bill is the ideal way of doing it. There are so many people here that are going to speak. I don't want to elaborate any longer, but I will tell you this. This is a good bill, and I endorse it 100%. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Representative, and thank you for the many hours that you have put in as we have met week after week to fine-tune this concept and to get it ready for a legislative filing. Your hours and your investment and your enthusiasm are most appreciated. Before we go to our next speaker, I also want to take a minute to introduce someone else who falls into that category, former state representative, former superintendent of the Massachusetts Department of State Police, a great friend and a great citizen of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, my friend and our friend, Reed Hillman. Reed, thank you for all your work on this. Next, we have someone who is no stranger to public safety, a state representative from Ipswich who has been a very active and committed member of the Committee formerly of Public Safety and now the Committee on Homeland Security and Public Safety, someone who's been a vocal advocate of issues affecting kids and schools as well as public safety, someone who has given us his time and his wisdom, and I'm pleased to introduce him to you here today. Ladies and gentlemen, State Representative Brad Hill.
Thank you. When my constituent from Hamilton, Dan Monez, came to me early on in my career, he embedded into me how important it is that we protect the children of the Commonwealth. And this bill will do that, as has many of the other bills that this legislature has passed in the past couple of years. We look at the 8 rules of safety now that have to be put up in every school in the Commonwealth that list things that children need to do and to recognize when a sexual predator is in their midst and what they need to do when they have identified a sexual predator in their midst. We look at what we've done with Amber's Alert, and we look at the children that have been saved because that law has been passed and is on the books of the Commonwealth. Now we have another concept. We have another tool that we want to offer the citizens of the Commonwealth, and that is to be able to have our children identify a sexual predator as they are leaving them by looking at the number plates that you see on my right and your left. By offering a simple identification of a vehicle that is speeding away at high speeds, where you just need a symbol and a number and the color of a car to be able to identify a sexual predator. This is a bill that certainly deserves to be discussed, certainly needs to have dialogue taken place, and in my opinion, needs to be passed to help and secure, to make sure that the children of our Commonwealth remain safe within the boundaries of this Commonwealth. And to the children of Newton, thank you for coming today. It really makes a difference, and these are the exact individuals of this Commonwealth that we want to protect in the boundaries of this Commonwealth. So thank you for coming today, and thank you, and I hope you can endorse this bill.
Thank you, Representative. And as you mentioned, we are thrilled to have the 8th grade class at the Brown Middle School so well represented here today. But more importantly than that, being involved in the getting behind this legislation as a civic exercise. And they are very well represented in the state legislature by Senator Cynthia Stone Cream, Representatives Kay Khan and Peter Katusian. And the newest sponsor of this piece of legislation in her district houses this school, our good friend Ruth Balser, who's with us today. And Ruth, thank you for your sponsorship and thank you for your leadership. Now we're going to hear from the students in just a little while, but I do also want to thank their principal, John Jordan, and their teacher, Frank Connors. As this legislation moves through the process, this will be an ongoing civic exercise, and we appreciate their partnership and look forward to it. I'm next very pleased to introduce to you someone who is a very good friend, someone who has a reputation in this building of integrity and honesty and hard work and true commitment to the people he represents. And that has been exhibited in so many ways, and one of the main ways that we've seen it is in his caring and compassion during the ordeal that the Bish family has faced. He is every day someone who comes to this building to make a difference, and his sponsorship of this bill is going to make a difference. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend and my colleague, Senator Steve Brewer from Barry.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Tarrant. Thank you for your leadership on this bill as well. 350 years ago, the Tarr family actually founded Rockport, and I think that Bruce Tarr himself has carried on a great legacy. They would be proud of you. The FBI statistics will tell you that if a child or when a child is abducted, if they are not apprehended within 4 hours, 75% of them will be dead. Seconds count in this endeavor. It is precious. An easily identifiable number plate will provide a little bit more of a margin to protect our children. We have worn a hole in the carpet to this podium on issues in the last 5 years to try to protect our children. Every time we learn a little bit more, every time we strive a little bit better to protect our world for our children, we recognize it is our responsibility. And to the extent that we can, on a legislative matter, and as John and Maggie Bish do, on an educational matter, with their identification programs that have identified well over 100,000 kids already for quick identification. It is enormous. To have Ed and Lois Smart, the parents of Elizabeth Smart, here today, to travel from the Golden West to the Golden East, quite honestly, they were lucky. They were lucky. Their daughter, Elizabeth Smart, came home, and she's in school, and she's healing, and she's getting better, and their family has been made whole again. That is not the case for John and Maggie Bish, for Heather Bish and John Jr. There is a hole in their heart for the rest of their lives from the events of June 27th, 2000, where Molly Bish was returned piece by piece by piece. We need to do better than that in our society, quite honestly, ladies and gentlemen. And every step that we make, whether it's on those number plates or in forensic services, on Amber Alert, on side sonar devices, and on tracking down level 3 sex offenders and hunting them down, all of those activities and more we need to do so we can honor the memory of people like Holly Peranian and Jeffrey Curley and Molly Bish. It's my pleasure to introduce to you John and Maggie Bish.
As I'm standing here, we used to count the days waiting for Molly to come home. Now we count the years that we're missing her. We are honored to be able to represent and to be able to say how important this Easy ID license plate program is. Many of you know the story of Molly. You know the day before Molly went missing, a white car was in the parking lot. I seen that car. For years, I have searched for that white car. I did not get that license plate. I have followed white cars. When one is in a traumatic state, it is not easy to write numbers down. It is not easy to remember 7, 6 digits. Today, as I was driving in, I copied numbers. DFS 7987, 86BM13, 57HW2K. We want children to remember that when someone's trying to take their very life and their innocence. This is an easy ID. It makes sense. We can protect our children in Massachusetts. In Money Magazine, they said, when I was reading about where good places to live, they said that Massachusetts has the most educated of all the states. But we were the very last state to put our sex offenders on the computer so we can know and protect our children. Couldn't we stand proud that we are the first state to say, let's give our children, our citizens, another good, practical way to save themselves? When someone sees a vehicle going by and hears an Amber Alert on a TV, on radio, or on a bulletin board, how does one encode that message? I'm a first grade special ed teacher. A symbol, a picture stays in your head. Numbers do not. Star 74. Heart 78. Look at the license plates. Close your eyes, try to remember them. This provision has the ultraviolet ray. This is not only for children who are abducted, this is for Homeland Security. This is for someone who might have a coma, go off the road, a medical emergency. The young girl that was in New Hampshire, when they found her car on the side of the road, perhaps they could have found it if a helicopter was above, maybe a day sooner, and we still wouldn't be looking for that young lady. We can make this better. We have that right, that responsibility. I say my Molly is like Anne Frank. She was an ordinary girl. She only got to drive a car for a few days, a few months, I'm sorry. Children need to be able to drive cars and be safe. We need to give that right to our citizens. Today, let's make that our promise to our children. Every child I see Molly. Every tear I cry is because of Molly. You never get better. Please support this bill. Call your legislators. This is important. We can make a difference. That is our job. In closing, I just wanted to say the Easy ID license plate can aid in Homeland Security, but I call it Heartland Security. We can make a difference. Let's be the state. Stand up to the plate. Let's do it. And I want to thank my dear friends for coming.
Thank you. Great job. I want to thank the Bishes for their courage, for their activism, and for a very special privilege that they have conferred upon us. We have asked them for the honor of attaching Molly's name to this program, and they have graciously granted us that honor, and so it will be. Thank you. Next, we have another great legislator, someone who, in legislative terms, has not been around this building all that long, but she's made an impression, and she continues to make one. She has been a good friend and supporter of the Bish family, and she is a good friend to all of us in the legislature. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to introduce to you from Spencer, State Representative Ann Goby.
Thank you. You've probably heard that necessity may be the mother of invention. However, it's compassion that brings ideas to fruition. And I do want to thank Senator Bruce Tarr for his leadership, for bringing forth a very workable and comprehensive bill. To Gary Richard, I thank you for spending your time and your talents to develop the Easy ID Plate program. To my good friends, John and Maggie Bish, the Smarts, and all the families that have suffered a loss of a child, I thank you for your efforts to make each tomorrow safer for our children. I look forward to working with my colleagues in the House and the people of Massachusetts to make Molly's Easy ID Plate a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative, for your time and your energy and your enthusiasm and your commitment to this legislation. As you mentioned, all too often, necessity is the mother of invention. And all too often, we read in the newspapers or hear on the radio or watch on television about another family going through the unthinkable grief of a lost child. Fortunately, we have members of those families who are willing to take a stand and to turn that grief into activism and to make a difference. And that is true of the Smart family. Ed and Lois are with us here today, having come a very long distance and more importantly, having come a very long way through a difficult ordeal with the missing nature of their daughter, and having lived through that experience and remaining committed with their family back to whole, as has been mentioned, but remaining committed to go where it takes, to do what it takes to make a difference. And Ed and Lois, let me tell you, you are making a difference. And we are so proud to have you with us today. And I am proud to introduce you to share a few words with us right now.
We, as a family, have been on both sides of the fence. We know what it's like belonging to that infamous club of a missing child. We also know what it's like to getting her back. There is nothing like being parents of a child that has gone missing. We urge you to do a simple thing as is this license plate that could save lives, could save our future, our children. It's the right thing to do. Let it start here in Massachusetts and then spread nationwide. Thank you.
The day Elizabeth came home was just one that we can never forget. But one thing that is very embedded in my brain is the day walking down from my house into this sea of media and thinking about friends and families like John and Maggie and so many others out there that aren't going to have their child come back. And thinking, what can be done? How can we make a difference? And what can we as a society do to help our children? And there are things that we can do, and this is one of those things. During the course of the 9 months that Elizabeth was gone, we did have license plate issues, trying to remember what the full plate was, what it was. And this is something that will truly help. It's so simple, it's so easy, it's really a no-brainer. We're grateful to be here. It's a wonderful state to be in, and we appreciate your help and hope that you will get up and help us. It is action that helps make these things happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to thank the Smarts for their contribution to public safety nationally and for honoring us with your presence here in Massachusetts today as we launch this very exciting concept for public safety. Thank you so much. Let's give them another round of applause. We also are honored to have with us the presence of another family who has suffered through grief and loss, and that is the Presti family from Woburn, who experienced the crime of murder at the hands of a level 3 sex offender. That should never happen. But they're here, and they're committed to making a difference, and I want us all to give them a round of applause for being here. I also want to recognize a couple of other individuals who, as the weeks have gone by, have sat at the table and have worked with us day in and day out because they believe in the positive power of this legislation. One of them is a former state official who is now working in private practice, but has been with us and has been our reality check on many occasions. And sometimes we didn't like to hear what he said, but it made us stronger and it made us better. Please recognize Dale Jenkins. And another individual whose tireless advocacy for child safety not only made a difference in his going to many, many schools in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, but in his coming here to the State House and getting a bill passed in order to post rules of safety in public places so that kids could begin to have the equipment to protect themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Moniz. As we have indicated, we have many, many legislative supporters, and the next one I'm very pleased to introduce to you. Again, someone who is a relative newcomer, but someone who knows how to make a difference. He is with us representing the town of Warren, but his hometown is Palmer. He is State Representative Todd Smola. Please give him a round of applause.
Thank you very much, and I want to thank the Senator for his leadership on moving this important initiative forward. Thank the Smarts for coming out so far here to Massachusetts to be with us for this important occasion, and of course to my constituents and my good friends John and Maggie Bish and their family. You know, for those of us that were out in western Massachusetts following the daily newspapers every single day when we found out that Molly was missing, days seemed like years, and as they stretched on to weeks and to months and then eventually years, we recognized that this was such an important issue that when children are missing or abducted, we need to do everything that we possibly can in this Commonwealth in order to protect them. Like the Amber Alert plan that swept across this country, let Massachusetts be the lead, be the founding state that sweeps this bill across our nation. You see these legislators that are standing here together today, this isn't just for positive press or to be here to say that we're on board with it. This is because this group here really cares about it. And the difference that you can make in this Commonwealth is to reach out to your legislators to get this ball rolling. I feel confident that this bill can move fast and furious if we have support from people all over this Commonwealth that are ready to stand by it and to say Massachusetts is going to make a commitment in order to protect children in this Commonwealth. So let's be the state that launches this bill, this important initiative for the protection of children across this nation. Please be on board. Call your legislators. Make this bill happen immediately. Thank you.
Inspiring remarks and very simple and important advice. We have a straightforward bill. It will protect kids. Get involved. I want to introduce someone who has been involved with us for a very long time with this legislation, who has an interface with law enforcement and with kids and with schools, and who has put that to use as an advisor to our committee and as an advocate for this concept. He is from the Massachusetts Safety Officers League. His name is Bob Barry, and I'm pleased to introduce you to him now.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you very much. Thank you. I have to tell you, I'm humbled. I really am. To be here, I feel really good about this because there's so many people that are involved. When this bill first came to the Massachusetts Safety Officers League, they asked us to take a look at it, and they said, we want your thoughts on this bill. It's going to be called Molly's Law, Easy ID, and we thought, sure, we'll take a look at it. Well, we're police officers in our communities that are safety officers that work in the schools, go out to the communities, the civic groups, and we help get the message out there. We help these kids. We help empower them. We give them the tools they need to be safe. And I have to tell you that the League has been involved with children since 1953. Even though the world has changed, we feel that we need new tools to help keep kids safe. And this program was just right on the money. Everything about it. The whole concept about remembering the license plate, the whole idea of numbers and symbols is just going to make it so much easier for us as police officers too. You can imagine for us to go to a crime scene and try to get information from people. We need this information. It's critical. If they don't have a license plate number to a vehicle, we need it for follow-up. So please, help pass this bill. Keep it alive. It's just like the Amber bill, the Amber Alert, excuse me. Same idea. The Amber Alert was great because it involved the public, it involved the police department. You've got all those extra eyes and ears out there. This is what it's about. And most important, these kids. You can imagine what it must be like for a police officer to go to a crime involving children. I couldn't imagine what it must be like to be a parent and go and deal with something like that, to have a victim and my family. We have to do everything we can to pass this bill. This bill is a blessing. And I want to thank the Bish family and the Smart family for all that you do. You people are truly gifted, and thank you for all your support. And God bless you.
Thank you, Bob. I want to thank you for your work every day on behalf of kids and safety, and also want to recognize the many other officers that you have brought with us from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts all across the state today. Thank you for your good work, each and every one of you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I want to next introduce the man who started this ball rolling. He had a successful business, still does. He didn't need to get involved in this issue, but he did. He wanted to make a difference, and he is someone who has committed so much of his time, never yielding. When we suggested that there might be difficulties, he got around them. When we pointed out an obstacle, he overcame it. He developed this concept, and it was brought to the attention originally of Representative Verga and myself by the mayor of our city, John Bell, and we are so pleased that the mayor introduced us to the next speaker, the president of Sunuc Products, Gary Richard.
Tough acts to follow there. 5 years ago, after Molly Bish had been abducted, I remember seeing the TV news and seeing what these people were going through, and it just sickened me. So, you know, I said, I got to do something about this. Then Elizabeth Smart had been abducted, I mean, out of her own home. I mean, what is more heinous than that? And I said, I'm going to do something about this. So I had to take my business skills and analyze how we solve this problem. And realizing that the bad guys, they don't take the bus when they're going to abduct a child, okay? They take their vehicles. So I needed to find a way to make the plate more identifiable, and also for even a 5-year-old child to be able to identify, remember, and report that information. Random numbers and letters just doesn't do it. So coming up with a graphic, a symbol that can be used, and there's a series of symbols, standard symbols, stars, hearts, triangles, etc., that are universal, that we all recognize. But there's also a way to raise money for important programs, and that is through the use of optional symbols, soccer ball, a butterfly, etc. And for a small fee, it can generate millions and millions of dollars for important programs. And police protection, etc. There's so many needy programs. We would take that money also and buy posters for the school, so that would teach the kids how to do this and empower the Massachusetts Safety Officers League to be able to go in there and give them car bingo, for example, that they would be able to you know, go in the cars and be able to take a look at the color of the car and what the symbol was, and train them from the earliest, you know, of ages. This does not impact specialty plates. You know, the right whale plates, the Red Sox plates, etc. The bad guys don't want those things on their plates. They don't want to have anything identifiable. So, you know, the low number plates, the specialty plates, the vanity plates, you know, those are all still there because there's already something that is more recognizable about them. Now, recently on TV, you know, we all know John Walsh recognizes the wonderful things that he's doing. He was asked, what can we do as citizens? What can we do to make a difference? And he said, you know, my job is to get the bad guys after they do something. He says, what we have to do is find ways to prevent it from happening right in the beginning. So this will act as a deterrent. If our forefathers had said, instead of random numbers and letters on the license plate, we're going to put your name and address, how many abductions do you think there would be? So we have to make it more identifiable. And if we can't prevent the abduction, we can actually still use through the cell phone army that's out there through an Amber Alert. We're looking for a white car with a star in a certain position on the plate. When you're driving your car, I mean, if you were trying to look for a license plate with a number 6 on it, what is that? How is that really going to help? Having a symbol, it drops it down into a different, smaller pool. The color of the car drops it down into even a smaller pool. If you have one more character, if you don't get that guy on the highway, you're knocking on his door. When you take a look over there at the board, you can see, like, for example, the license plate mock-up there with a star on it. That's just one of the symbols that, would tend to be used. And you can see what the difference would be. And when you look, let's say they put out an Amber Alert, and you can even look in your rearview mirror because the symbol is a mirror image of itself. Okay, so a star is still a star, whether you're looking at it straight on or in reverse. We also have developed photoluminescent materials. And we can still work with your current suppliers and work with them to supply those types of materials on plates. It's a little light in here, but we can show and demonstrate how paints can be used. So when the bad guys come into your neighborhood at night and they put out their lights, how that license plate could continue to illuminate for hours. The trend on the plates have been to make the characters smaller and add numbers, more characters to it. But when you take a look at some of the graphics over there, they've used license plates as an advertising placard for the state, and it's becoming so busy, it's really hindering the intended use of why we have that. I have also developed a program enhancement to this where we can actually take 4 alphanumeric characters in a 5-character spot where we, the other slot for symbols, 25 symbols, and you can move those symbols over in the various combinations. With just those 5 spaces, we could actually cover 192 million combinations and cover the whole country. In Massachusetts, we would only need 3 characters in the symbol. So how much easier that would be. The administrative code, it's critical to how that works. The general public does not need to concern themselves with it, but over to the left, thank you, Dale, for that help. The administrative code is there to tell what the symbol is and where the location is in the numbering system. And we can actually further reduce that code even down to 2 characters, so we may end up doing that. But it tells you where it is, and it can even act as a safety net so that when information is going from police station to police station or registry, that it can represent also the platform on whether it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 character platform plate. So if they only get 3 characters on that, but the code tells that it's a 5 character, we know there's information missing. So it's a safety net. There's many things that we can do, with that coding. So please join with us in helping make a difference. I want to thank my family. Gosh, this is tough. Partners, wherever you guys are, and all these wonderful people. Look at these people, my heroes. I grew up without heroes. I have heroes. And this guy right here, I want to thank all the legislators. I want to thank Tony. I want to thank so many people. But this guy.
Thank you, Gary, for your work and your commitment and for being with us today. And you recognized your family, and I also want to recognize a special member of your family who's with us today, your wife, Rita, who's right here in the front row. Let's give her a round of applause.
I knew I wouldn't be able to keep it together if I did.
And Gary will be around to answer the technical questions that you have. We're going to have a question and answer period at the end, but also even after that, because it is a concept that we want you to understand very, very well and feel comfortable with it. We next have some great representatives of the public sector, and I want to ask all of the students from the 8th grade class at the Brown Middle School in Newton who are with us to come forward, and we're going to introduce your classmates to speak. So I want you all to come up front so everyone can see you. Okay? Okay, yep. Everybody come right up front, and we're going to do this really quickly. I want every one of you to tell us your name. We're going to start on that side. We're going to go right around. So you start. All right, Dan, say it loud. All right. All right.
Tori Jarlin. Mark Gretzky. Jackie Zacon. Max Resnick.
Sam Hyun.
Ben Weissman. Carly Cannon. Karina Vanbaum. Sam Levy. Hannah Jelinek.
Say it loud, Hannah.
Hannah Jelinek.
All right, go ahead.
Amrita Rao.
Okay. Start on the far end. Okay.
Dan Salter. Jeremy Rivera.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, their entire 8th grade has been involved in this project at the school, but obviously we don't have enough time for every one of them to get to speak. So they have chosen, as their representatives to our press conference today, Jackie Zacon and Mark Koretsky. And I'm going to ask Jackie to get started, and if you would come up here and speak as loud as you can, and if you can reach these microphones, I'm going to actually bend that one down so you can get to both of them. And there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, please give Jackie a round of applause.
Hi, my name is Jackie Zacon, and this is my friend Mark Koretsky. We're 8th graders, but it's probably safer for us not to tell you where we live, and that's exactly what we want to discuss with you today. I'm sick and tired of hearing my parents say, watch out, or don't talk to strangers, or no, you can't walk to your friend's house alone, or if a stranger drives up to you in a car, scream and run as fast as you can. All of us are sick of it. We don't want to live in fear of sexual predators. What an awful way to grow up, worrying about which stranger might want to hurt me. Molly's Law will not change the fact that we have to be careful and mindful of dangerous situations, but it will help protect us if we are put into a dangerous situation. So please, no, I beg you to contact your state senators and representatives and demand that they pass Molly's Law and help keep us safe.
Thank you, Jackie. And now we're going to hear from Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark Koretsky, and I'm here to tell you how Molly's Law can help someone in danger through easy identification of a perpetrator. Whether it be a child abduction, robbery, or suspicious behavior of any kind, the intended victim of a crime can easily identify the perpetrator through a simpler identification system called Easy ID. By using this new system, a 5-year-old child can readily recollect the license plate numbers because Molly's Law uses only one symbol and 3 numbers. That is easier than the present 6-number system we currently have in Massachusetts. Additionally, the license plates will glow in the dark, creating more of a deterrent for bad guys and predators. So please keep us safe.
Thank you, Jackie and Mark. You are wonderful spokespeople for your class, and we're so proud to have you here today and honored to have you joining us in this effort, because this building works best when we work together in the House and the Senate, as Democrats, as Republicans, as citizens, as law enforcement, as people from every walk of life in this state who can make a difference. This bill is the vehicle to make a difference. A simple plate, fewer characters, an easily recognized symbol, something that we could all benefit from, and we will if we work together. This concludes all of our formal remarks, and we'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Bruce, just a quick kind of technical question.
Sure.
You talked about in your press release about grandfathering certain plates. So would this, in effect, be going into effect on issuance of new plates? Is that the way you see it?
Bill, that's one of the details we're working through. We have in the bill a 5-year implementation period. The registrar would first consult with national agencies. For instance, The American Association of Motor Vehicle Administrators is critical to this process because they have protocols for what plates can look like so that they can be run in other states and identified. So the registrar would begin with that process, file a report on the feasibility, and then 90 days later begin putting together the program. The issuance of the plates is an issue because we have green plates that are out there right now that we've been trying to recall, and you have one. We want to talk to you after the press conference. But they have been an issue for a while, and we're going to try to recall those anyway. But we would like to stagger the implementation of it. But I think what Gary said is critically important. Right now, there are a number of distinctive plates that are authorized under Chapter 90, Sections 2 and 2E. We would grandfather those, because if you have a Bruins plate, if you have a Veterans plate, those are already distinctive. So those would be grandfathered, and we'd introduce these gradually. The biggest challenge that we will face is in our data management systems and not necessarily in the production of the plates, because we have to make sure that this can integrate into a national system of information interchange that extends beyond the borders of the state. Thank you.
Jackie, how do you spell your last name?
What?
How do you spell your last name?
Z-A-K-O-N.
K-A-R-E-T-S-K-I-Y.
Try putting that on the license plate. Okay, if there are no other questions, we obviously will all be around after this. And Maggie, you can say anything you want.
I have a great tendency for saying one more thing. In my nervousness and the overwhelming emotions that I had felt today, I must have written 5 different ways to say what I wanted to say today, but I do really want to say thank you for Gary, for Bruce, for Rita, for Senator Tarr, who have so much embraced us, for the members of the committee who have given up their weekend. Fridays, they called us. We were not able to get to all the meetings, for all the hard work that was put together. The Presti family, we all went to meetings early on. There's much that has been given up. But it is the effort that comes together. Our senators, our representatives, as you just said, a lot has to happen together, and it couldn't without all of us working together. And the Smarts for coming all this way and being partners with us, standing side by side and being our friends. My children, who we still work all the time trying to work through this journey. Our cousin Mickey, you know, many people traveled here today to be with us, to be in support. Our friends are here. They took off their days, some with only one personal day. 2, we thank you. They gave up their time to be here. I just wanted to say we gave birth to Molly, but you've given Molly a future that we couldn't give her. And we hope that we can give people and children safety, so thank you.
We are joined here by many members of the law enforcement community. And this bill will also ensure their safety. You know, every day we ask our law enforcement officers to place themselves in harm's way, protecting our children and our families. Their work is not always appreciated. And every opportunity I have, I want them to know that we appreciate what they do, that we are grateful for their efforts. But this bill will go a long way to ensuring their safety as well. I want to thank them for being here today. I want to thank the Senate.
And thanks to those great kids. I got a day off from first grade, and look what I get to spend time with more kids, huh? Thanks for coming.
I think more than 2, but before this gets partisan, let me say thanks to Matt Conley from my office for his work on this bill. And let me say thanks to Megan Duff for helping us get the word out on this great issue. She's done a great job. Let's recognize her as well. And with that, we will conclude this day and hope that we can leave this chamber, go out on a sunny day, and commit ourselves to making a difference. I know we can. Thank you all very much.